Get me that signal. We need more power.
We're here at Gen Con, and I'm talking with Alison Haislip, from an actress, commentator, podcaster, so many things. And we're at the Iello booth, and we are at Gen Con. Did I say we're at Gen Con? We are at Gen Con. Yes,
Gen Con 50.
Isn't that amazing?
That's awesome.
I haven't been to them all.
This is my first.
This is your first Gen Con.
I figured I'd come to the biggest one first, right?
Well, that's a good plan.
Right? This is the first sold-out Gen Con.
That's why it's the biggest one.
Yes, because I'm here. I like the way you think.
So, you know, you're known a lot for Attack of the Show.
Yeah.
And so you're a big video gamer.
Yes, I guess that is one of the things that I love doing.
So we're at the biggest board game convention, at least in the country. How did you make this transition over to board games?
Well, I don't think it was ever really a transition. I always played board games as well. I just was known for playing video games, but it's not like because I played video games, I never played board games. You know, I grew up, it's like a family tradition that during the holidays, my whole family would get together and play Trivial Pursuit. Or when, I always remember when my mother had like take your kid to work day, she'd bring my brother and I to work. But she's a teacher, and she taught at a college, so we wouldn't sit in her college classes because we'd be bored to tears. So when she was teaching, we would sit in her office and play Life and Monopoly and those sort of things. And Life, man, all we wanted to do was get as many kids as we could.
You like filling the car up.
Yeah, you like filling the car up, and then at the end you got all the money for having all the kids.
Kids, that's not how life really works, just so you know.
It's the exact opposite, actually.
So what other types of games have you played?
Well, I'm a big puzzler. That's really what attracts me to any kind of game, whether it be video games or board games or what. Like in the video game world, I love Portal and Uncharted, which are all games about like just solving puzzles and escaping rooms and things like that. Yeah, it's great. So I'm sort of attracted to the same stuff within the board game world as well. Anything that makes me have to use my brain and like figure out something, that's what I love doing. I also do the New York Times crossword puzzle every day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So as you can tell, I just really like looking at something and being like, ooh, how do I rearrange things and make this work? Yeah.
Nice. So last night, they had the Iello party.
I know, it was super fun.
Yeah, it was. And I saw you over there playing Mountains of Madness.
Oh my gosh.
Tell me about Mountains of Madness.
Well, let's just say I lost my voice playing it. The Gen Con got us.
Yes, Gen Con gets us every time.
We get free stuff without tickets.
That's actually a very
until
rare
midnight.
thing.
What's up until midnight? That's insane.
It's the nice thing about Gen Con, it's 24 hours a day. I mean, the exhibit hall closes at 6,
that was the thing.
else.
You know, this being my first Gen Con, I didn't know really what to expect. And I love the fact that the hotels that are attached to the convention, their tables are set up in the lobby for people to just sit down and game. Like, that's what it's there for. They set up specifically for the gamers. You don't see that at other conventions.
No,
it's amazing how much they embrace it here.
Yeah, Indy really has embraced Gen Con to the fullest extent. I mean, just like the food trucks out there. You know,
those look good.
They typically don't have those, but there are tons of them out there this year.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the first sold-out Gen Con ever.
I know, it's incredible.
You know, it's really amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so Mountains of Madness.
Yes.
So I was really interested in the game. I obviously didn't get a chance to play it until I got here. It wasn't out yet. But I was watching some people play it at first, and I was like, wait a minute, what are they... when you're watching, at first you're like, I don't understand what's happening. And then you realize that the game makes you insane. Like, as the game progresses, you get madness cards that keep increasing and more maddening things you have to do. And when you're communicating with your teammates, you can only do it in a certain way that the card says. Like, I had one yesterday when I was playing that was just called peanut butter, and it meant I could only speak with my tongue stuck to the top of my mouth like this.
Oh my God.
And when you're trying to frantically yell at someone and tell them you have 5 crates, it's really hard. It's really hard, and it's really frustrating, but it's hilarious because there's like another one where one of the people I was playing with, they had to have a finger mustache, but they could only speak to someone else if they also had a finger mustache.
Oh my God.
So trying to figure that out with your teammates, you want to strangle people. And also at the same time laugh hysterically, because you're like, how are we going to complete these missions if you are staring at me like this and not saying anything? What am I going to do?
Oh my gosh, you guys really looked like you were having some fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
High fives were flying everywhere.
Yeah.
I was like jumping up.
It's a team effort. I really like games like that. I love
like
games
cooperative.
that you play against the game as opposed to against each other. You know, I really like that kind of stuff.
weren't you live streaming a gameplay?
Yes, Zombie 15.
Zombie 15, yes.
Yeah. So when I signed on with Iello to be their brand ambassador, I very quickly got lots and lots of giant boxes of board games shipped to my house.
That's nice.
I just have stacks and stacks of games. And so I started every Sunday having some friends over so I could play through these games. Because I was like, I need to play them. I want to know what all these games are. So I had to recruit friends to come play games with me. And that was one, Zombie 15 was one that we sat down and we worked it all out. And we started playing it, and we only had like an hour or so to play.
Yeah.
So by the time we got through the first campaign, our time was done, and I was like, or first scenario, I mean. And I was like, man, this would actually be a really great game to just live stream. Like let's commit, I'll get 3 other friends, and we'll sit down, and we'll just play through the entire campaign, right? Yeah. So I recruited my podcast co-hosts and our friend of the show, Jerry Trainer, and we like blocked out a 6-hour block on a Sunday.
6 hours?
6 hours, because
Wow.
it's 15 scenarios, and every scenario is 15 minutes,
Yes.
or you get 15 minutes. And so I was thinking, like, it would probably take us like back to back to back 4.5 hours to play through the whole game, but we're going to account for like board setup and like bathroom breaks, and like we'll probably fail once or twice or something like that, so 6 hours, right?
Right.
We made it through half the campaign. Half. We made it through 8 scenarios in 6 hours.
Wow.
And we were like, oh my gosh. And you want to keep going because you do create these characters and they have a life underneath them and you want to know if they're going to make it or not.
Yeah.
So we're actually sitting down, I'm not sure when this is airing, but we're sitting down on the 24th of August and for another 6 hours, and we're going to campaign the second half of the game.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll have this up before the 24th so everybody knows.
Yeah. And by the way, this was something I wanted to do with my own free time. This was not something where Iello was like, could you do this? I hit them up and was like, hey, can we live stream us playing this game? And of course they were like, yeah, that'd be great. So that's how excited I got about this stuff.
Well, how did the whole Iello thing come about?
Can I use your name? Okay. I'm like, what am I allowed to say? So I met Cam probably 2 or 3 years ago. And this was prior to him working with Iello. And then when he started working with Iello, he hit me up and he's like, hey, I'm working with this company. We're thinking about bringing on a brand ambassador. Is that something that would interest you? And I was like, yeah, that sounds perfect and awesome and fun. Like that's how I make decisions with my career. I'm like, am I gonna have fun doing this? Then the answer is most likely yes,
Yeah.
I will do it. And so, we got down to the whole nitty gritty and all that sort of stuff. And, I'm doing the things you expect, obviously interviews and social media shout outs and stuff like that. And then they got to the point where they were like, so we're wondering if it's okay if we turn you into one of the characters in King of Tokyo. And I was like, what? God's back.
Oh my God.
Like,
Every 5 minutes.
Oh, here. So this is my exclusive Gen Con piece, Alison, the 50-foot woman who destroys Tokyo and New York. They asked, they were like, would this be okay if we turned you into a piece? I'm like, are you kidding me? That's the coolest thing ever.
That is the coolest thing
why would
ever.
I ever say no to that? And now I have my own little awesome piece. And I've been posting her on Facebook and Instagram and all that sort of stuff. And my friends from home are like, oh, what? Like, they're so excited about this. So basically, this just upped my street cred like tenfold.
Sweet. Yeah, see? Now, do you know, is it only here that people are going to be able to get it, or do you think they're going to be able to get it?
As far as I know, it's only here, although it wouldn't shock me if it showed up at other conventions. I don't think it's going to be something that you can ever buy online. Like, you have to show your face in person.
See, people?
To get one of these suckers.
That's why you come to these conventions.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they're exclusives.
So tell me about your podcast. What's that like?
My podcast is called The Half Hour Happy Hour with Allison and Alex.
Mm-hmm.
It's myself and my co-host Alex Albrecht, who's from Dig Nation, and he also worked at G4 back in the day, although oddly we never crossed paths at G4. And we have our sidekick Tom, who's like, I call him our Robin. Howard has Robin. Howard Stern has Robin.
Right.
We have Tom. And it is about 30 minutes, hence the reason it's the half hour.
Right, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and we have a drink. That's why it's the half hour happy hour. And we just discuss the random things we found on the internet that week. So a lot of times, it's like Elon Musk news. It's like just the stuff that like nerdy geeky people would be excited about because we're nerdy geeky people. So if Elon Musk, has figured out some other way to save our planet, we talk about that. Mm-hmm. Or we find when you read an article and then on the right-hand side, there's like all these random headlines that you're like, what? Like, Russian couple lives with bear for 23 years. Right. Or seagulls get high on Skittles or something like that. We talk about that. We're like, okay, we took the time to go over and read what this article was about, and now we are sharing it with you. So it's just a fun, entertaining, it's not meant to be serious at all.
Good, so you avoid politics.
Yeah, as much as we can.
As possible. It's really hard to do nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. But most of the time, it's just us joking about how global warming isn't real. Like that's
right. It's a mystery.
Right. That's sort of the extent that we get into it.
So where can people find the podcast?
Well, we're on the Nerdist Network, so you can always find it on Nerdist. But we're on iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play, and you just search Half Hour Happy Hour, and we should pop up.
Cool. Now, what else you got going on?
I always just say
Anything
my
you wanna mention?
podcast. Right now,
I gotcha.
you can currently watch seasons 1 and 2 of Battlebots on the Science Channel, which is a show I did on ABC the last 2 years. They're now re-airing on the Science Channel, which I think is hilarious because someone came up to me and asked me who wins, and I'm like, what do you mean? It's a re-air. Like, you can look it up. They're like, wait, what? You didn't just shoot this? I'm like, no, we shot that season 2 years ago. But if it gets a lot of press or success on the Science Channel, we are hoping we'll get a season 3, which Battlebots is one of the most awesome shows I've ever worked on, because I literally just stand there and watch robots destroy each other. So I would love to get a season 3 of that. So if everyone can go and watch Battlebots on the Science Channel, that would be great. Also, in the fall, I did a show with Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk called Con Man, about a guy who makes a living going to conventions, Con Man. And it will be, it was originally released on both Vimeo and Comic-Con HQ, but the Sci-Fi Channel just bought it. So everyone's going to be able to watch it on the Sci-Fi Channel come this fall.
That is awesome. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Nathan Fillion is so great too.
He's wonderful.
Yeah.
And he has the greatest head of hair. I don't understand it. It's just always perfect, and like coiffed, and it's like, he radiates.
Some people are just born like that.
Yeah.
No, some of us aren't. But.
Yeah.
Well, Alison, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk to me.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, this was fun.
That's
All right.
it. We need more time.